Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, from more on Eminem's Houdini that shows that it was indeed the biggest song in the world last week, as final Billboard projections have shown. However, it is not all great news for Eminem, as we got confirmation that shows Eminem's battle with US radio is far from over. And to be honest, when it comes to chart positions, Eminem has been getting a beat down in the US for like a quarter century. It is quite comical at this point, and we'll expand on this in a bit. And we now have a more comprehensive report on YouTube that confirms Houdini's global dominance on its release week in 2024. Suffice to say, even some of the most optimistic Eminem fans couldn't predict this. And a few hours ago, we got some behind-the-scenes footage for Houdini that shows Eminem give Tom Cruise a run for his money when it comes to doing your own stunts. More on this in a bit. And today we also have more on the ongoing Drake versus Kendrick Lamar battle that is clearly far from over, as we got what's been interpreted as Drake sneak dissing Kendrick Lamar that popped up on IG a few hours ago that sparked heated debates online, which we'll explore in a moment. And in fact, we got word from Elliot Wilson, who was on the Joe Budden podcast recently, and he revealed that Drake kind of blamed him for being the leak. Of course, he did not confirm if he was actually the leak, but I'll leave it up to you guys to be the judge when we get to it in a moment. And at the latter part of the video, we have more that has come to light a few hours ago on the long-awaited Dre and Snoop album Missionary that I believe was announced as far back as 2021, and apparently the 2024 Aftermath takeover is not just some internet joke, as we got to hear from the Dogg Pound a few hours ago. More on this later. So starting with Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, things got heated a few hours ago when Drake shared a post on his IG that included the caption, "Goats don't worry about one-trick ponies." And boy, it looks like social media has truly turned on Drake, because users came for his neck. This got over 40,000 likes. I can't stress enough how much he moves like a bee, and Kendrick Lamar has done irreparable damage to Drake's reputation, as since he was at a kid's football game, reactions like these blew up. Get those kids away from him.
Damn.
And users on social media kept firing on all cylinders. "It is better," he responds with IG captions, "than raps, to be honest. At least we know he wrote these eyes emoji." And we got another viral one, over 80,000 likes. The audacity to call Kendrick a one-trick pony after he dropped 4 almost completely different diss tracks on his head, loudly crying emoji. And Drake's got people writing think pieces about how to move after public humiliation. Check this out. "His lack of awareness is wild. After suffering a public defeat, I would be super mindful of every word I said for a while. I literally find Drake to be a one-trick pony. No matter how many flows he borrows from around the world, it always comes back to that annoying monotone-ish." Suffice to say, it looks like the public has turned on Drake. He's now, quote, corny, and we got to hear more on the Drake versus Kendrick battle, as if you recall, Drake's team obviously had some leaks, and hip-hop media personality Elliot Wilson caught a stray from Drake that hurt him, since it seems Drake began to doubt everyone around him. Check out some snippets from the Joe Budden podcast.
He actually, I'm gonna give you the puzzle. He sent me something that I can't say what he sent me, because if I tell you what he sent me, it reflects what he sent me. Does that make sense? Yes. Nigga sent me a rat emoji. Because I think he started to think like Venice, like Kendrick's in Venice, you're in Venice, like he's.
But you so thirsty, you not concerned with investigation. Instead, you in that Venice studio, it's a celebration.
So I had to view it like I'm just really against him. So when he dropped Family Matters, it was just like, I was like, yo, you dropping this tonight? He'd be back like, yeah, whatever. And then he sent me a rat emoji. And I'm like, I hit him with the 50 Cent. I was like, what to say fuck me for? Like, blah, blah. Like, but I didn't like that shit. Don't send me a fucking rat emoji. Okay, I want to say for the record, the Drake Rap Radar podcast 5 years ago, it's the last great rap interview. Fuck anything came after that.
You're not going to please everybody. You just can't.
You know what I'm saying? So that took a long time to happen because he cut the bag with Apple. He had to talk to Zane Lowe. He didn't want to talk to Zane Lowe. So we went through all these different cycles of things. I'm just like, yo, it's like, I don't know. I just think a certain relationship, I just feel disappointed by the whole shit. I don't know. It just bothers me. Is it fine for it to bother me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It could bother
That's
you.
all.
Because y'all was something.
Something.
And some have taken this as confirmation. So there's a mole, and he doesn't know who it is. And as far as we know, Elliot Wilson could be the mole since Drake sent him the rat emoji. No one knows for sure. But what I know is unless caught red-handed, no mole would admit that they are guilty. And some believe that this confirms Drake lied about planting a mole to feed Kendrick false information. Check this out. Crying. So basically, once again admitting nothing was planted and there was no fake mole he sent to Kendrick. But people expecting a mole to be honest is also hilarious, because if Elliot was the mole, he'd never admit it. But check this out, Elliot be annoying sometimes, but he's been a part of the culture for 20 plus years, so the fact that Drake betrayed one of his biggest supporters makes me feel like he's genuinely crashing out over the OVO leaks. This dude Kendrick got him on crisis mode, and I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on this one. And moving on to the next topic today, Eminem's Houdini is off to a great start based on latest reports on the final Billboard projection and also YouTube's latest reports. And starting with YouTube, Houdini is officially not just the biggest music video debut of the year, but overall, it is the biggest song to release this year in the world based on first week views plus streams on the platform, as it opened to over 60 million views, the biggest of the year so far. And on Billboard, it officially is set to open as the biggest song in the world on its first week. Check this out. Eminem's Houdini is expected to debut at #1 on tomorrow's Billboard Global 200 chart with over 500,000 units in worldwide activity. It will become his first career #1 entry on the chart. And just in case you're wondering how Eminem's just earning his first Billboard Global #1 over 25 years into his career, it is because this is a relatively new chart that launched this decade, in the third quarter of 2020 to be precise. And based on the final prediction, Eminem is bound to set another hip-hop record. Check this out. Eminem is predicted to have the best week in streams among rap titles since the Global 200 began, also in pure sales. So as you can see, not just the biggest streaming week since the chart began, but also the biggest sales week in hip-hop since the chart began. And here's a live reenactment of Eminem's critics reading this right now, as you'd see in a bit.
Headache.
Sorry.
Man, I got a headache. Damn, my head is splitting, man.
Sorry.
Oh, God, what kind of sudden headache is this?
Remember, just off the cover of Houdini, we saw predictions about how he's about to drop Corny, the worst song ever, and also how no one cares and he's irrelevant. So of course, this sent shockwaves. For real? Damn. He got a loyal fan base even after all these years, cause I didn't believe his numbers were gonna be this high, and some are dumbfounded. Seriously, who streams this song? But alas, US radio gave Eminem a beatdown, as final projections show that Houdini is set to debut at #2, and when you take a look at the final prediction, you can see why. Eminem's Houdini got a total of just 4 million airplays, compared to the #1 song that got a whopping 59.9 million. So the #1 song got outstreamed and outsold by Houdini, but thanks to US radio, it wasn't enough for the #1 spot, which shows that some things haven't changed in over 2 decades for Eminem. As even on The Way I Am, Eminem pointed this out, radio won't even play my jam. And this has sparked a heated conversation of how radio is used to manipulate the charts, but it is what it is. The US radio handed Eminem another L, since this would have been his first #1 in over a decade. And while this was on, we got early reports from the United Kingdom that shows the UK fans could very well extend Eminem's reign at the top of the charts this week, as it is set right now to hold on to the #1 spot in the country. And speaking on labels using fake streams and radio to manipulate the charts, we got Ross going off on Twitter a few hours ago. Since many new gen rappers have been struggling to sell out arenas, he tweeted, "Don't be mad at me selling out arenas cause your fave can't. Y'all start trying to make excuses and do all sorts of mental gymnastics in an attempt to figure out the disconnect. They are faking their streams, which is why the ticket sales don't match the streams. Simple, but stay out my mentions with the stupidity. So in the long run, all the fakes get exposed. And this is why Eminem is the 3rd best-selling singles artist of all time, even with pretty much no radio play. And hours ago, we got a behind the scenes for Houdini that's about to give Tom Cruise a run for his money.
Don't try this at home. I do my own stunts. Action. Oh, you want me to smack my fucking face? I can't control my cake. I cannot be responsible for my cake.
Don't do the recoil.
That was my head bouncing off the carpet.
No, that's you going like this.
Can you make my nose not as fucking pointy? Holy shit, it's actually not easy. I need a break. You like the roll? I thought I killed it. Yeah. Oh, wait. Wait, how am I gonna? I can't turn my head that way. Marshall! My shoe just came off.
And moving on, we got more that showed the Aftermath takeover is no joke in 2024. Thanks to Daz and Corrupt on Drink Champs, they confirmed that Snoop and Dre are dropping real soon. Check out a snippet.
I sacrificed my solo record. Dad sacrificed. We all sacrificed. Dogg sacrificed because he got an album dropping in July.
That's what I said. That's something for him to.
What? His album with Dr. Dre dropping in July.
He got an album coming out next month with Dr. Dre.
Oh, good.
So you know.
On Death Row?
No.
It's Death Row.
No, is it?
Aftermath Interscope.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Damn, Death Row, Aftermath, and Interscope.
Isn't that incredible?
Got that. Make some noise for that.
Dr. David, oh, my mom.
And in response to this, some have expanded. Eminem is rumored to be dropping in July. It will be an epic month. Probably they have a song together in one of these albums. The Three-Headed Monster is back. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.